Hey there, we are practicing Ahimsa on the mat. Ahimsa is a Sanskrit word that means non-harming. So let's figure this out together. Grab your mat, any props, and let's go. Welcome to Gentle Restorative. My name is Sandra. You must take the most comfortable seat you can because today's theme is all about Ahimsa. And yeah, I'm going to leave you hanging if you haven't heard that word before. So close your eyes. Just make sure you're happy, content, comfortable, satisfied, all those good things. And then take a deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale. Slow, deep inhale. Complete exhale. And just pausing right here to be present. If you have your palms open to the sky, I want you just to take your focus to sensation that maybe you feel in the palms of your hands. Feel the parts of the body that have settled upon the earth. Feel the air around you, touching bare skin. Another deep inhale. Another complete exhale. What do I mean by that? Get all of that breath out. Really pull the stomach in towards the spine. Let it all go. And when you're ready, take both arms up. Bring the palms together and release them to your heart in prayer pose, Anjali Mudra. We are pausing right here to set an amazing intention for our practice and our day. When you're ready, go ahead and release the arms, open the eyes. I'm taking the left arm around behind my low back. My right fingertips are going to find the ground in front of that right knee. So find your length here. We're going to incorporate a twist and a side bend. So I want to use the fingertips to push away from the ground. Excuse me. Start pulling back that left shoulder. And then I'm just going to lean into my right side. You could, if you want to, let go of the ground and allow the elbow to rest on that right knee. That might be easier. It just depends how low you can go. If you'd rather, you could slide your fingers more out in front of you so you can come down a little bit lower. If you're comfortable dropping the elbow down to the floor instead of the knee, I'm okay with that. If that's too far to go, you might want to block, and you can play around with where this is best for you. Remember, if we're having a conversation about Ahimsa, every pose you do must be what's best for you. All right, a couple of deep breaths. So I'm continuing to pull back on my top shoulder, but I'm also, I'm sure you can't see this, but I'm lengthening from the root to the crown. So I'm still trying to push my left hip, tailbone down towards the earth, but I'm lengthening the top of my head off in that direction. So very minuscule movements, but we're still working the pose, even though it looks like we might just be holding it. And then slowly make your way back up. Let's release both hands to the ground in front of us and just close your eyes. Okay, right arm behind your low back. Same thing. Either the fingertips of the left hand somewhere out in front of that left knee, or you can start to drop to your elbow if that makes you happy. But I do want you to lengthen first. Start to pull that right shoulder back so we get the lower body working its twist first. And then we're going to start to come down. Keep pulling back the shoulder. Lengthen from the tailbone to the crown. Breathe. And then, of course, it is kind of fun to notice, which side is happier or was happier in this pose? Which side might be struggling? Do both sides feel the same? All right, slowly make your way back up. Both hands out in front, making contact with the earth. Close your eyes. Okay, open the eyes. I want you to take any prop out in front of you. Probably the blocks would be easiest because they're easier to build as high as we might need them. So we're going to come forward into a fold, the forehead resting on something, if that's possible. Having said that, I want you to feel balanced. I want you to feel like you could lift the arms off the ground. I want you to feel like you're balanced because I want to give you the option of getting your arms behind you into Yoga Mudra. But if you have so much weight forward in your head and you're not comfortable there, that's not going to happen. He's fine. Yoga dog is fine. So let me give you an example. If I come as far down as I can, I might feel like lifting my arms would just be way too much on my back, my forehead, perhaps my neck. And so you might adjust this a little bit so that it's a lighter touch of the forehead on the prop or the earth. And then we can play around with seeing about the arms getting behind us and going upward a little bit. So you're going to need to set this up how it's right for you. Give you a moment to do that. So you do not have to take the arms into Yoga Mudra at all. We're going to be talking about Ahimsa. You have to do what you want to do and what's right for you. Okay, but if you do take the arms behind you, you might start to see if you can lift the knuckles upwards a bit. If you want to, you can drop into each shoulder, kind of rocking back and forth. Deepen the breath. And then let's slowly release the arms if you did take them up behind you. Bring the hands back to the earth, they're your support. And then slowly push your way back up. We're not really done here. I just want you to get that other foot out in front. This time, let's make it a restorative fold. So wherever you end up, we're not going to move the arms. We're going to hang out right here contentedly. So while you're in your fold, breathing in peace and exhaling that which is not, let's talk about Ahimsa. Most of you might know this as a Sanskrit word that means non-harming. And so on the mat, we talk about Ahimsa a lot because we don't want to head into pain or injury on the yoga mat. That's not what yoga is about. And so how do we use restraint when the mind kind of says, I think you should be doing the pose this way, or the mind says, hey, I saw this pose in a book a couple days ago. It did not look like what you're doing on the mat at all. And then what happens when ego decides to join you on the mat, right? And our mat is not huge. There's not a lot of space here. We don't need anything else on the mat with us besides our props. So if ego sits down on the mat with you, ego likes to say, your pose sucks. You could be doing better. You could be doing it harder. You could have taken a different version that was offered. You could be going deeper, right? Ego's very chatty. But ego and Ahimsa don't mix. They're like oil and water, right? Go ahead, take a deep breath. Slowly make your way back up. Set the props aside. Hands behind you, fingers facing in so we can tip back into the arms for a moment. Can you please just straighten out those legs for a second? I want you can flex, you can point, you can alternate, you can walk that out. So to do the pose the way it's meant for you, ego can't be involved. And frankly, for some of us, this is hard. You have to have your best interest at heart. All right. When you're ready, feet on the mat to the width or the edges of the mat, right? Knees are bent. I just want you to bend into the elbows slightly, lift the heart, open up the throat chakra. Deep breath in. Exhale, round this out, drop the chin. Inhale, open it up. Keep going. So even in a pose like this, let's say you have tendonitis in the wrist. This might not be practicing Ahimsa for you. Are you going to tolerate it? I'm waiting. I hope the answer is no. No, you're not going to tolerate it. What else could we do? Well, we could come onto our knuckles. We could make gentle fists, right? We could sit up in this pose with the hands in front of the knees. So thinking about what you need best, because Ahimsa is essentially kindness, right? Non-harming, kindness. I don't want to harm my wrist if I have tendonitis. I don't want to feel that the rest of the day, right? What I want to feel the rest of the day from my yoga practice is peace and gratitude that I made it to the mat. All right, last one. Okay, so from here, and you can switch your hands however you want them. We're going to do our seated pigeon. So plant that left foot. Let's get the outer right ankle up on top of that left thigh. Right foot's flexed, knee pushing away from you. And then lengthen the spine. If this is enough of a stretch, in fact, maybe it was hard to get the foot up here, we can lengthen out that left leg. I just want you to feel a stretch somewhere in that right hip, glute kind of area. If this is enough, you're right here. So we have this pose, you've got to practice Ahimsa, right? If you don't feel anything here, this is when you can start to tighten up, make some alterations to your pose. Looking for a stretch, breathe into it. So perhaps you're thinking, well, okay, I can do this on the mat. I can listen to my body. I can follow what it needs. Okay, Ahimsa must have to do with my my physical well-being on the yoga mat? And I would say, well, yes, but that is like the smallest, minuscule part of the definition of ahimsa. There's so much more we have to talk about to really get an understanding of that word and an understanding that ahimsa is much like your yoga. It is a practice. It is a lifelong practice. So we've got to figure out its definition and its full capacity, right? All right, one more breath here. All right, I'm going to loosen up this pose so I can stretch out that right leg. I'm going to keep the left leg bent. I'm pulling that knee in, and I might angle a little bit here. What you might want to do is take that left foot and just let it create some space between itself and the right leg. Front foot's flexed and sit up really tall. Strap, perhaps, in this pose if you want it. If you're going to use a strap, take it around behind you and let both tails be on either side so you know where the strap is and you can reach it. Otherwise, sit up tall. Let's get that left, left shoulder inside of the left knee. Lean forward so they really are about even. Now, that left arm's going to reach forward. Turn the thumb towards the right and then down to the ground. So our palm is facing outward, thumb is down. This arm is slowly coming out to the side, and as it does, my palm rotates upwards so that I can bend my elbow and see about getting the back of the hand over by the left hip. This is where that strap might be helpful. I say might because you don't even have to take the other arm around. We have options here, and you're practicing ahimsa. So option A, no matter what you're doing, I want you to lengthen out here. It's going to be super easy to round out to try to get this arm around. Lengthen the spine. You could rest that right hand on your shin if you want and call this a day. This is option A right here. This is hard enough. This is hard enough. Okay. If this arm doesn't get over here and you're trying to practice ahimsa, maybe the fingertips rest on the ground. Okay. All right. Option A is right here. Option B, we come down lower into our fold. We're still trying to keep the spine long. Maybe this hand reaches forward to grab onto the right foot or the ankle to help guide us on this journey. And I always suggest closing your eyes in a fold so that you can't see how far away you are from your leg. There's no judgment entering. Ego is not sitting on the mat, pointing a finger, right? If you want one more option, the right arm comes around behind you and maybe it finds the left hand. And again, this is where we have the strap. If you want to do it like this and the hands are not going to find each other, grab the strap. If you don't have a strap, doesn't matter, just let the hands end up somewhere. And then we're still lengthening and making our way into that fold. Okay? So a lot of options. You should be happy because you're choosing which option you're in. And frankly, if you hate this, this is really not working for you, the left leg is super unhappy, then don't do that part. Let the knee fall open, right? Jani Shirshasana. And you still could take the arms behind you, come into your fold, right? Choose something that makes you happy. All right, I talked for a long time getting you here, so I know we've been here a while. Give me a deep breath in. Exhale, start to release, find your way back up. Hands behind you, straighten out that left leg. Walk it out. Go ahead, you can slump, I don't care, it's all good. Close your eyes for a moment, work the ankles. All right, you ready for the other side? We know what we're doing now, so I don't have to keep you there as long and chat your ear off. Bend that right knee, bring the foot in. Easier to have a little bit of space between the foot and the leg because we're trying to drop our shoulder inside of that knee. Front foot stays flexed, of course. Reach that right arm out. Turn the palm to the earth, then the thumb down. Start to bring that arm out to your side as you do so. That palm should rotate upward, and then see if you can get that hand back by the right hip. And of course, it doesn't have to end up there. It's okay. Whatever option worked for you on the first side, that's where I suggest you head. Deep breathing. You can work your way in and out of the fold, right? Okay, inhale. Exhale, come on out of this pose. Straighten out the legs, grab a block, put it out behind you. Let's lay down for a moment, or more than a moment. Let's see. Just close your eyes, settle into, well, corpse pose. Don't head off on me. I'll fall asleep. Just let go. So if Ahimsa were only about protecting the physical body on the mat, that wouldn't be too hard, right? We could do that. And we could at least catch ourselves when the ego comes in. We could go, aha, it's you. You need to get off my mat. I'm good the way I'm doing this pose. Okay, but this non-harming element, harmlessness, if you will, or kindness, it translates to way more than the physical body. So let's take a look at words. Words themselves can be very harming, right? I'm sure you all can think of something that has been said to you that didn't sit well. It hurt your feelings. It made you sad. It made you upset. Equally, I'm sure we've all said something that has done that to somebody else. So words fall under, this canopy of Ahimsa. Are the words kind? Are the words creating injury? Are the words creating harm? So what I think is interesting is, well, what if you said to me, but what if the words are the truth? What if what I said might have been hurtful, but it was the truth? So we need to stop and we need to take a look at our definition of truth and how that ties in. But first, I don't want to leave you in Shavasana in the middle of our sequence because you're gonna leave me. So, and I'll be alone on my mat. So I want you to go ahead and draw that right knee in. Keep the left hand on the right knee. As that hand pulls the knee across into your supine twist, let's take the right arm into scarecrow. Keep the right shoulder on the ground. Start to deepen the breath. And while you're hanging out there, let's talk about truth. So you have this statement that you would like to say and you believe it is truthful, yet we're questioning whether it's kind. I would first ask you to consider, just because you think it's truthful doesn't have to be stated. So that's number one. But then we've got to look at, how do you know it's truthful? So a lot of, I think, what we say, maybe sometimes in anger or frustration, a lot of what we say is based on opinion. And we all have that, but opinion is not based in fact. Opinion is based on our life experiences, how we were raised, perhaps our religion. It is such a, let me restate that, it is so influenced by our external environment, how we were brought up. And that's how we form these opinions, not based in fact, right? So I could tell you that, well, my yoga mat is blue, and you might say, well, no, it kind of looks like it's got some indigo elements, so I'm going indigo. Well, which one of us is right? Are we both kind of right? Both of those colors are in the blue family. I don't know. Is it my opinion that it's blue and yours that it's indigo? What if you're right? What if my mat is indigo and I'm insistent that it's blue and I bought a blue mat on purpose to help out the throat chakra? Does it matter? Do you have to tell me that I'm wrong? So this is where we got to start to take this process of thought with Ahimsa, right? Go ahead and release your right arm from scarecrow. Start to come out of the twist. Resettle the hips. Draw that right knee back in. Send that right leg up to the ceiling. Let's flex both feet. Option A, right here. Option B, you could create a vinyasa with the right leg. Inhale, pull the leg in. Exhale, let it back off. Option C, you might not feel like doing it quite like that. If you'd rather, you could lift the head and shoulders and reach upwards, maybe towards the ankle. Maybe you can grab onto the foot. It's up to you. You could still create the vinyasa here, right? So I want you to incorporate what you want to do into some of what I'm suggesting. And then we'll bend that leg, release it to the earth, and just feel that for a moment. Okay, let's hug that left knee in. Flex the right foot. Right hand stays on top of that left knee. It's going to pull the leg across as you take the left arm into scarecrow. Remember, the shoulder has to stay down. If it doesn't want to, you've twisted too far for your body. Close your eyes. Okay, so we left off with this conversation about truth, opinion not being fact. So what if a friend is, I'm shopping with a friend, they're trying something on, they come out of the dresser and they ask my opinion. And again, it's an opinion. They really like the outfit. I really hate it. Part of me might be thinking that I'm doing the right thing by telling my friend exactly what I think of that outfit. Yet, here's where we need to question whether being, and I'm going to use honest in air quotes, you can't see me because your eyes are closed, but is being honest in that instance being kind? Now, I already know some of you are going to argue, yes, it is with me because they asked for my opinion in the first place. Let's say your friend is ecstatic about this outfit. Your friend thinks this is the best thing ever, right? And you hate it. So in telling your friend what you really think, you deflate your friend's excitement, and that is injurious. That is harmful. Because frankly, does it matter what we think about the outfit? We're not wearing it. So we got to start balancing truthfulness, which is essential to, well, truthfulness is one of the yamas by itself. Ahimsa is one of the yamas. There are 5 yamas. Patanjali lays them out in the Yoga Sutra. The yamas are about your external ethics. Like, how are we acting externally? How are we treating others around us? And so truthfulness is a yama all by itself. But here's the thing. The yamas are not meant to work on their own. They all integrate together. And when you can achieve all 5 yamas, then we are on this path to decreased suffering. We're on this path to enlightenment. This is why it is a lifelong practice. Does that make sense? So, Ahimsa has as much to do with the words you speak as it does keeping your body safe and out of pain on the yoga mat. I feel like, remember that commercial? But wait, there's more. We're going to get to that in a second. I don't want to leave you in this twist forever, though. So, go ahead and let's take that left arm out of scarecrow. Slowly release. Go ahead, straighten up the hips before you hug that left knee back in. And then send that leg up to the ceiling. Again, you are free to do what you want right here. On the other side, we had options of just stay right here. Create a vinyasa with the leg. You could reach up higher. You can lift the head and shoulders if you want to. So play around. When you're ready, let's go ahead and send this leg all the way down on the mat. Close your eyes. All right, while we're here, I want you to take your hands and lay them over your heart. What I'm about to say might be pretty hard for some. I think we all understand trying to say words that don't harm our friends or our family, right? So, okay, I'm going to hold back. I'm not going to say anything about that outfit. In fact, what I might do to remain truthful to myself is stay neutral or reflect. What do you think about the outfit, right? Here's the hard thing. We use so many of those hurtful words towards ourselves, which is why your hands are now on your heart space. Are you being kind to your own heart? Like, think back over the past, 24, 48 hours. Does something come to mind that you might have said to yourself, maybe upon looking in the mirror, or you were working on a project and it didn't go the way you planned? What words did you use that were harming? You wouldn't have said them to your friend, put it that way. But yet, it's okay to say them to you for some odd reason. So, when we are looking at our word choice and we are trying to practice the yamas, those kind words, while focused outward, also need to be focused inward. So here's your opportunity. I want you to, please don't tell me we're going to be here for an hour for this part. You're going to say 10, you have 10 fingers, 10 kind things to yourself that are true. They're true. They're all going to be true. Say them. I'm amazing, whatever it is, lay it on me. I'll wait for you. But I know you have those answers within you. Hopefully you thought of those 10 things already. Did you have a situation where you started to say something and you went, wait, well, I don't know if I resonate with that. That's not totally true. I hope you continued with the thought and said, yes, it is true. I am that. All right, let's drop the hands to the abdomen. Empty out the lungs. Deep inhale into the hands. Exhale. We need 2 more. These are complete, deep breaths into the hands and away from the hands. When you finish that breath, release the arms. Go ahead and plant the feet on the mat. Knees are bent. I'm going to lift my hips about 1 inch off the mat. Take my hips over to the right, and that way I can very easily and compassionately roll to my left in a fetal position. All right, go ahead and slowly make your way back up. You can move that block out of your way. We're coming into the table, hands and knees. From here, let's go ahead and tuck the toes, slow downward facing dog. Take a couple of deep breaths. Move around in this pose. Do what you need to do. When you're ready, let's bring the knees back down to the earth. Right foot is stepping forward between the hands. Since I want to find low lunge here and not come up into a half warrior A, we need to take the left leg and move it back. Settle into the hips. Try to keep that right knee still over the right ankle. When you're ready, lengthen the spine, heart moves forward. You could stay right here. You can add your blocks, which I would suggest, of course. You could come up higher. You could just rest the arms right on that right knee. Let's just hang out here for a moment. We're just feeling the weight of the body settle into the hips. It's okay. Stretching is good. Pain is not. So you got here and you're thinking, yeah, this is bordering pain. We're somehow making a change. Maybe you pull the hips out of this pose a little bit. Maybe you add the props back in. All right, so we get it. We get the physical thing on the mat, right? We got to go back to the words for a moment, because sometimes our words come out of our mouth faster than we even know where they came from. But they came from somewhere. Whether we were conscious of it or not, those words originated in thought. Sometimes we need to practice putting a pause between the thought and the immediate word that comes out, right? Thoughts are a little more challenging. We cannot harbor and encourage the harmful thought, even though we're not saying it out loud. So I'm still, all right, I'm thinking that outfit is the worst I've ever seen. I am thinking it. I have pursed my lips. I am not going to say it. But that thought, creating this negative energy, is still not practicing ahimsa. And truly, it is still somehow detrimental to me. All right, are you guys feeling this? Let's bring the hands back down if you came up. We're coming all the way back to, you know what, I was going to say child's pose, but let's go to embryo instead. Let's keep the knees together. Reach the arms back. If you want to rest your forehead on a block, go ahead and grab it and just hang out here for a moment. one of the ways that thought, okay, maybe me thinking that outfit is really, really ugly might cause me to question, well, how is that harmful to me? I can think it, it's my opinion. But following those thoughts and allowing them is habit forming. And if we're creating a practice, we have to stop even those thoughts that we find or think are inconsequential, right? So this is why I said it's a lifelong practice, because the thought that that outfit is ugly might pop into your head immediately. It's okay, let's acknowledge it. Let's rephrase it. However you want to rephrase it. It could be a neutral statement. It doesn't have to be, I'm not encouraging you to tell a lie to yourself, like, oh, I love that outfit, because now we're not following the other yama of truthfulness, right? Of satya. All right, you ready to do our lunge on the other side? Let's slowly make our way back up. When you're ready, let's get that left foot forward, move the right leg back. You decide where you want to be to hang out and hold this pose. Okay, so we've covered ahimsa towards the self, both in words and in the physical sense. We've talked about words towards others. We've now brought this back to thoughts, but wait, there's more. Ahimsa is also about showing kindness to everything. Everything. So I get it might be easier to show kindness and restraint about the outfit with your friend. Might not be as easy to do that with strangers. How often do you walk past strangers, say you're in the mall and there's judgments that pop into your head? So we have to work on extending this kindness everywhere. And I am not suggesting that maybe that's completely 100% possible just in this lifetime. This is a life lesson. Life lessons are not meant to be easy. So this is going to test you with things like spider on the wall, you're not killing it. You're capturing it, releasing it outside. A fly in your house, same thing. Give me a deep breath here for a second. All right, come on down, take this back to embryo. The mice, perhaps, that are in your basement that you want to trap, it's a live trap. You release them somewhere else. The, boy, I can't relate to this at all, but the chipmunks in your yard that perhaps you don't like, I love my chipmunks, but you can't trap them either and kill them. That would be practicing ahimsa. You would have to, if you really are going to trap them, live trap, move them somewhere else. So in that, I don't want to say extreme, but if you're going to follow ahimsa, you're trying to 100%, that's where we head into being vegan, right? No harm to any creature. I had another example and it just went out of my mind. I'm sure it'll come back. Give me a deep breath. Let it go. Come back up into table when you're ready. All right, from here, will you just let the hips sway from side to side? You can pick up one leg and then the other if you want to, if you don't want to get into this movement. Oh yeah, I know where my thoughts were heading. Beyond practicing kindness towards all living creatures, you also have to extend that, my knee's about to pop, you have to extend that to everything that has a vibration, everything that's alive. And so now we've got to take it to a broader scale of protecting the earth. To practice ahimsa fully, you would need to start thinking about, well, all right, I go to a fast food drive-through and I order a drink. and you know that drink is coming with a straw. And if I know myself that that straw is somehow going to end up in the ocean, and that is not just an ocean, it's our ocean, then I need to start refusing the straw. Let's say you're thinking, are you kidding me? Like, I don't drink without straws. I love my straw. Okay, you know what? Goals are supposed to be set so they are achievable. When we set goals, I know you're still swaying, I got it. When we set goals that are not achievable, what do we want to do? Give up, right? Small steps. Maybe the straw doesn't matter to you. So find something else that does. I want you to go ahead and sit table. Send the left leg out behind you. Right arm forward, cat balance. Make sure the hips are level. Breathe. So Ahimsa, in its complete sense, is about non-harming / or kindness to everything. And I know we as human beings cannot just jump there, or we would, I hope, be there. But the world as it is proves that's not the case. Come back to table. So just start small. Send the right leg out behind you, left arm forward. Start small. In fact, if the concept of just keeping myself safe on the mat is all you can handle right now, let me tell you why that's a great place to start. Because if I go too far on the mat, go ahead, come back to table, tuck the toes, take this to downward facing dog. If I go too far and I injure myself on the mat and I am limping around for 2 days and I'm in pain, I'm probably pretty grouchy. And I'm going to go do my errands and I might snap at somebody because I'm in pain. You see how this extends everywhere? Had I practiced Ahimsa on the mat, kept myself safe, who knows, my mood might be so much better when I head out to do those same errands. So however this topic resonates with you, that's what I want you to adopt. All right, I left you in dog. Give me a deep inhale. Big exhale. All right, come on forward into plank. We don't do this pose a lot in restorative. So once you get here, go ahead, set the knees down, untuck the feet. We're exercising compassion. Draw the stomach in a little bit. Make sure the shoulders are not hugging the ears. Pull them back. Inhale. Exhale. Half chaturanga. So come on down slowly. And then keep your hands right where they are. Lift into Cobra. So again, practicing Ahimsa in Cobra means if this is where I want to end up and my back is happy, this is where I stay. If this is where I want to end up and I'm happy, this is where I stay, right? It's up to you. You're in charge. What if I'm fine up here, doesn't bother me at all, but I don't want to be here? Right here. You got to practice Ahimsa for the mind as well. Breathe. All right, bring the forehead down to the earth. Take the arms behind you into Yoga Mudra. Interlace the fingers, palms together, and then lengthen out the arms. Draw the upper arms in towards each other. You are pulling the shoulder blades in, so there's not much space between them. Now imagine I've grabbed your wrists. I'm standing over your legs, and I'm going to pull down. So extend the knuckles down toward the heels. Good job. Give a deep inhale. Exhale, untangle the arms, let them drop to the ground. Turn the right ear to the mat. Close your eyes. Keeping your eyes closed, say something nice to yourself. ahead and turn the head in the other direction, left ear to the mat. When you're ready, bring your forehead back to the earth. Bring the arms forward so the forearms are supporting you. And then from here, let's lift the head and slowly come into Sphinx. So the elbows are right below the shoulders, the arms are parallel, the fingers are spread wide. Traction forward, find some height right here. And this is it. You can stay right here. If this isn't good for you, a couple of ways you can change up Sphinx so it might not be as tough on the low back. Slide the elbows forward so you drop down a little bit more, or take the elbows out wide. If you want to, you can add on reaching back for a foot, drawing it in, and getting a good quad stretch. If you don't want to do this today, don't do it. If you want to do the stretch, but it's too hard on your back, drop down, take the forearm in front of you. And when you're ready, and if you're still working out that stretch, keep going. But when you're ready, just want you to roll over onto your back. Hug the knees in. I'll wait for you right here. We're going to release the feet back down. Let the knees fall in towards each other for a moment. Deep breath in. Hold it. Let it go. So Shavasana is probably the utmost kindness that we can do for ourselves on the mat, right? Grab your props. I want you to set up Shavasana in the most fabulous way ever, so that not just your physical body is content and happy, but your spiritual body is happy, your mental body is happy, and your heart is happy as well. Get comfortable, close your eyes. I'll come and find you when Shavasana is over. Taking your focus to your breath. Breathing in, I am kind to myself. I have self-compassion. I inhale self-love. I choose to release judgment and ego. And I will try to head out into the world today showing kindness. Give me a deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Allow some movement back into the body. And then slowly make your way into a fetal position. When you're ready, come back to a seated pose. Make sure it's compassionate. Make sure the body's happy. Deep breath in through the nose. Loud exhale. When you're ready, take both arms up. Allow the palms to find each other. Release them back home to your heart. The light in me bows to the light in you. When I'm in that place in me and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.